this is the Health and Safety Committee meeting.
Thursday, May 5th, 2022. I'm going to call Health and Safety to order at 6 p.m. Members present are Dan Wireball, Steve Young, Mark McKeever, and myself, Chair. Is there any public participation for Health and Safety? If so, I ask you to come to the podium and state your name and address in your statement. Seeing none, next item is approval of minutes from April 13th, 2022 Special Health and Safety Committee meeting. Before we get to those, you've got those in front of you. Just received an email that I'd like to read. It was addressed to Megan but sent to all of us. I have the following additions and corrections and deletion to the above captioned minutes which are being presented at tonight's committee meeting for approval. Item number 2. Resident Vicky DeShawn pointed out inclusion of Print Happy establishment name and removal of Chanel's establishment name on page 6. Resident Vicky DeShawn pointed out change of 10 qualified permit holders to read 11 qualified permit holders, page 8. Resident Vicky DeShawn pointed out inclusion of participation plan, page 14. Resident Vicky DeShawn pointed out removal of D permit holders with Myers requesting inclusion of qualified permit holders, page 14. And finally, in listening to the audio recording, there was no request for page 11 or page 10 should be page 11. Thank you, Vicky L. DeShawn. So I'll entertain a motion to either approve or approve with these corrections the special minutes from Wednesday, April 13th.
Make a motion
Your motion to do what, Mr. Young?
to approve the minutes for the 13th
As presented or with these changes?
with the changes, please.
Okay, so I have a motion from Mr. Young to include these changes emailed by Ms. DeShawn and approve as amended. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, first by Mr. Young, a second by Mr. Wireball. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. That motion carries. So, Ms. Conley, if you would just make those changes to the minutes and then send those out to us,
Yep.
that would be marvelous. Next up, we have approval of the minutes from the April 21st regular Health and Safety Committee meeting. Those are in front of you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Wireball, a second by Mr. McKeever. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. That motion passes. Our next topic is the Los Arios LLC Pepe's LLC liquor license, which was discussed. The letter was read to us Tuesday night. This is from the Ohio Department of Commerce. Please find and close the legislative notice that's being sent to you regarding the applied for liquor permit as captioned in the notice. Within 30 days of the mail date, we must make a decision whether we want to notify the division whether we object and want a hearing, or we can ask for a 30-day extension, or we can do nothing and let them know that we approve. I did speak with the police chief today, who said that he has no concerns with said transfer.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with us, or with Pepe's here, but I do think, I mentioned this before, that the next time one of these come for a gas station, we need to, and I'm not just picking on gas stations, but I'm pretty sure that Pepe's is not gonna sell glass pipes and blunts, okay? And if, you know, maybe we should have something in there, but, I mean, we just gave, first of the year, gave one you know, said okay with a liquor license. We said nothing or whatever. And all I see on Facebook is all these
Right.
vaping.
And we've had that discussion a couple times over the past couple of years, and really the answer I got when Mr. Ratliff was still here was all we're doing is we can request a hearing. The Ohio Division of Liquor Control has the ultimate say. You know, we could protest, but at the end of the day, he said most likely that's not going to change the ability for them to get the license.
I mean, I mean, here, we got this place, well, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
No, I agree.
pick on a certain place. but
Yeah.
It's not even in a good location, you know?
So in this one, I guess we either need a motion to request a hearing, ask for an extension for further research, or to do nothing.
Make a
And allow
motion
this.
to do nothing.
Okay, I have,
We're good at that.
so basically, by do nothing, Mr. McKeever, it says, we will mark this, says we do not request a hearing, we'll mark that and send
That
it
is
back.
correct.
So your motion is to allow Ms. Conley to mark, we do not request a hearing, sign it, and send this back to the Ohio
Yes.
Division of Liquor Control. Do I have a second?
Second.
First by Mr. McKeever, second by Mr. Young, to not request a hearing and have the clerk send this back to the Ohio Division of Liquor Control. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. That motion carries. Any public participation to wrap up health and safety? Hearing none, we'll adjourn.
Excuse me.
Yes.
This could fall under health and safety, because it is a standing water issue, which could lead to incubation of mosquitoes, West Nile disease and so on. But this would also.
Could I have you step to the podium so that you're able to be picked up on the audio recording? To state your name and address, please.
Richard Zabst, 1525 Oak Ridge Drive.
Thank you. Now go ahead.
Okay, we have a drainage problem back on Oak Ridge Drive, and water stands in our back lots. And this week is the first that we've been able to even get in our back lots to mow. Today I mowed through water that deep because of the amount of rain that's coming. And I've got a petition signed here by the people on Oak Ridge Drive, the property owners, plus Mrs. Rush on Whetstone, her property adjoins. And it's just a swamp back through there. And like I say, I didn't think about it as health and safety when we first came down here. But the more I thought about it, it is a problem that could cause some health problems for the city of Bucyrus if continued to be neglected. I've lived back in the neighborhood since 1977. And we built a new house then, just a couple doors down in 1993. And this problem, instead of getting any better, it's getting worse as we go on. And I think probably because of different drainages in and around the area. But I did get signatures of all the landowners that are affected on Oak Ridge Drive, and I'd like to present this to council for your consideration to look into drainage for our properties. I know one neighbor said, you know, if I'd have known there was a drainage problem like this, I wouldn't have even purchased in the neighborhood.
Sure. Now procedurally, just to be clear, we can't discuss that this evening because it's not been referred to either of the committees for discussion. So what I would like to do is we'll take your petition, we'll get it to the council clerk. It will be presented to full council at our next Tuesday meeting where we can then vote to accept and file your petition and then make a referral to send that to either health and safety and or service for then on a meeting, on a Thursday meeting where we can discuss it
I was just
further.
aware, you know, the storm sewer services and so on and the grants
Sure.
that we have. We just thought maybe that we could apply for something in that area to alleviate our problem.
Sure, so yeah, we'll take that, we'll get it to the council clerk, and we'll make some appropriations.
appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll make some, or not appropriations, we'll make some referrals to send that to the appropriate committee at our next Tuesday meeting.
Hi, my name's Chuck Richmond. I'm at 1465 Oak Ridge Drive as well. Since Rick brought it up, that's why we came here tonight, to try to present an issue. I've lived there since 2018, rather, and it's like a river through there. If we get very much rain, and it seems like basically all the water runoff comes from almost from Beale Avenue right at us, and it'll run down through there, and it gets to be quite a bit. As he said, I mowed for the first time in my back lot Monday night with my rider. Otherwise, you know, I leave tracks. Just walking through the backyard, I leave footprints because it's so wet. So I had actually spoken with Mr. McKeever about the issue and to see if there was anything possible we could get done. So everybody in the neighborhood, also, next door neighbor to Miss Sherrick here. So, you know, it is an issue, and it can be a problem with, like you said, the mosquitoes and maybe West Nile virus, things like that. And we, you know, if it's a possibility, we'd like to see if a grant or something maybe that we could get something.
Sure, we'll get it referred to the appropriate committees, and we'll, like I said, that'll happen at our next meeting that we have on a Tuesday, and then the following Thursday, which will be 2 weeks from tonight, we will then, those committees can discuss it and decide what action, if any, we can look to take.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thanks for your time, guys.
Thanks.
Any other public participation for health and safety? Hearing none, we're going to adjourn at 6:10 p.m.
It is Thursday, May 5th, 6:13 p.m., and this is the Finance Committee meeting.
Yeah, I'll call the Finance Committee to order at 6:13. Members present, Mark McKeever, Kevin Myers, Terry Spiegel, and myself, Chair. First order is public participation. Any public participation concerning Finance Committee or anything we're going to talk about tonight? If none, we'll move on to approval of minutes. The April 21st, 2022 minutes are here before us. It looked like we met, called it to order, and then left. Approved the last month or last time's minutes. So if I can have a motion to approve these minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we move on to something good here. Appropriations. Joyce, you gonna walk us through this? Or you don't want me to do it?
As I explained Tuesday night, we've got quite a few here. We need to appropriate in the general fund, the program one, security of persons and property. In the police department, $4,931.49 to materials and supplies, and $10,045 to capital outlay. The addition to materials and supplies is from donations to fund Safety Town, and the addition to capital outlay is for donations to the K-9 unit and a reappropriation from a prior year purchase order. Then we need to appropriate in the income tax fund an additional $50,000 to refunds, and this is needed to pay the additional tax refunds due to people working from home during COVID. We need to do the same thing in the Safety Forces levy, $25,000 to refunds, and that's for the COVID refunds. And then in the Park and Recreation Land Fund, under Lands and Buildings, we need to appropriate $2,850 in materials and supplies, and this is from donations to the Community Foundation for Playscape maintenance and Friendship Bridge maintenance. And that's all of the appropriations that we need at this time.
I'll make a motion to,
Well, the refund, that money comes out of the general fund, is that where that comes? The 50,000 and 25,000?
The $50,000 comes out of the income tax fund.
Income tax fund, okay.
Yes.
Okay, I see.
And 25 from Safety Forces levy, and then the next thing up will be one transfer in the street fund for the other 25,000. But these will be two separate pieces of legislation, so you need to approve appropriations first.
Okay,
I'll make a motion
all right.
as an emergency.
Mark's
to
made a
approve the
motion.
Appropriations.
I'll second.
And Terry second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then we have one transfer in the street construction maintenance and repair fund. $25,000 from contractual services. And then in the same fund, the Department 7760, which is income tax again, $25,000, and that is for refunds due to COVID.
Okay, do I have a motion on this transfer?
I'll make a motion.
Terry?
Declare emergency.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's the appropriation, so we're done with that. And income tax fund appropriation, oh, that was
That was
the
part
second
of
one,
what we
okay.
just went through.
Solid waste fund, solid waste fund replacement fund.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's at the back of your packet,
If
is
you
that?
turn your
Yeah, I
paper
thought it
over,
was
it's
a
on the back.
service.
We have 14 dumpsters out at the garage that are in need of,
It's like not, I thought it was supposed to be in service, so it's the very last
Oh,
page, I'm
the
sorry.
very back of the packet, not the back of the finance packet.
There we are.
Got it.
good now?
Huh?
Good now?
I'm
Yeah.
good.
Okay. We have 14 dumpsters at the bottom is in need of repair. They're rusted out in the bottom. And we have a company that will make us a plate to fit in the bottom. And it'll get welded in. As you can see, we have 6 3-yard dumpsters. We can get them done for $663 each. A new 3-yarder now is $1,209, and in 18 it was $660. So at this point, you can see the 2 4-yarders and the 6 6-yarders. So if we got those repaired, we'd be able to get them out and use them. That's going to cost us about $11,272. But Jeff Dunn, our foreman, has asked that we move $16,000 from the replacement fund into, it would be into the repair fund so we can fix the dumpsters. We generate about $28,000 a year through the replacement fund as we take 50 cents from the utility bill from trash, and that generates, like I said, about $28,000 a year. But we just got a garbage truck about 3-4 years ago, so we're not looking at one of those for another 3-4, maybe 2 to 3 years. So, but by then, I'm not sure what a garbage truck's gonna cost. But that would just be a way for us to get these dumpsters fixed so we can get them rented out.
Go ahead.
Do we even have any clue how old these dumpsters are that we want to repair? I mean, even a ballpark
I
guess?
couldn't tell you.
I'm looking at the math, and I get every penny matters, but when, you know, looking at the 3-yard dumpsters, you know, the cost to repair it is only $546 less than the cost to replace it. Are you comfortable that the repair is the right way to go on that?
Well, at this point in time, with the cost of steel and to get a new dumpster, you know, the sides have held up pretty well.
Okay.
Other than maybe they need to get touched up, but the bottom is just where the, you know, the water lays down in the bottom and they just rust out there.
Okay.
I think they're in good enough shape.
I wanted to
do
ask the
that.
question.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
could I suggest, instead of transferring from one fund to another, that we just appropriate it in the solid waste replacement fund? Because we've got a line there for equipment replacement or repair, and we could just appropriate it right there and pay it from the replacement fund.
Whatever,
That would be easier.
okay.
Like, we can just add it to the list of appropriations, and if you want to approve it, I'll just put it on the list to send down to the water office for legislation.
Okay, I
Makes
think
more
that
sense.
sounds like a good idea.
I think that makes more sense.
Okay, so then, I guess all I would need is a motion for an appropriation for $11,272 from, where was that, Joyce?
The solid waste
Solid,
replacement fund.
solid waste replacement fund.
Yes, for
Yeah.
16,000.
Oh, well, okay, 16,000, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Just in
16,000.
case we run into anything else.
Right, well, I
You know.
looked at the wrong number.
That's okay.
I looked at the bold number. So I need, appropriation for 16,000 from solid waste replacement fund.
I'll make the motion.
Do I
For
have a-
16,000 as an emergency.
Do I
I'll
have a
second.
second?
I'll
Second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So that's taken care of now. We don't have to have another meeting for that. All right. Is that what we were talking about? Solid waste
Yep.
fund replacement? Okay. That was that one. Now, appointing Brad DeCamp as one Ohio Region 17 representative for Crawford County. Who knows about that? Anybody know about that? This is the first I heard of it. Okay, I guess there's a bunch of paperwork in here. And what I read through it, where was that? That because of this opioid, the way I took it, anybody stop me if anybody knows about this. The way I take it is, a while back there, each state was getting money from this opioid case. Settlement, yeah. And so we have to put someone on the board, and Brad is, I do know he is head of Adam H. So it kind of makes sense.
The commissioners did the same thing already. They did their resolution March 17th of 2022 that appointed him as their representative.
Yes, so I guess we'll just, and I don't believe it's costing us anything. I don't even really know why it's in finance, but be more of a-
Because we're receiving money.
Oh, okay, we're receiving, okay, yeah, we would receive, well, okay.
I'll make a motion to appoint
We'll
Brad
have-
DeCamp as our representative for the city.
I have the email pulled up of it explaining what it is. Do you want me to read that?
Yeah,
or-
are we gonna need to do a resolution? Is that what
Yeah.
we'll probably have?
Yeah. Or you don't want me to read it?
Do you want her to read the email explains it?
It's just a short, it just
Okay,
says
yeah,
Region
read it.
17 needs a resolution from each municipality to appoint Brad DeCamp as your representative of the opioid settlement. Only one representative per county is permitted under the state guidelines. Each municipality needs to do their own resolution. Please find the attached documents, and that's what this is.
Okay, so yeah, so I guess I'll need a motion to take this resolution, get it to our legal department, and then bring it back in front of council at
I
some
make that
point.
motion as an emergency.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Now we're up to sewer and garbage. I guess I don't have the papers here or something. Is this in here, sewer and garbage?
I believe this is what Terry referred. Was it
Oh,
sewer and garbage rates?
Yeah. Yeah, on the garbage rates, on the back of that paper, you can see,
Maybe that's it.
what the rates are now are $10 a month for seniors and $16 a month for residential. And there's a market comparison about the other companies that are around here, what they charge. And correct me if I'm wrong, Joyce, but according to the budget, we don't know if we're gonna have enough on either one of them with inflationary reasoning, so that being said, we're looking at maybe raising it $1 on each one of them, go to $11 for seniors and $17 per month for residential on garbage, which would help for a little bit on that. It's not a big deal. It might be for some people, I understand that, but we also got to keep above water on our services we want to provide, so.
Right.
Because like Jeff said, garbage trucks, next time we get one, might be double what we paid last time, we don't know, so. Any ideas on that, Jeff?
On the cost?
Yeah,
No, all we can do is go by what we've seen everything else, and it's going up probably. By the time we need one of them, it'll probably be close to 300,000, I'm gonna guess,
yeah.
for the
So-
cost of product and being able to even get one.
And Jeff, and Joyce, do you know if we raise it $1 each, what that would bring in? How much more that would bring in, do you have any idea?
I'm thinking it's
We-
around,
Well, we have about 5,200 customers, so
Okay,
that'd be about 60,000
yeah.
60,000, so.
a year.
That would keep us above water for a while, so.
Yeah, we don't know what the landfill rates are gonna do. We're already up to $325,000 this year,
Yeah.
that we're looking at, and hopefully we can stay below that, but we don't know.
So that's that on the garbage part of it. On the sewage rates, our 3% that we had every year ended in August of 21. We kept moving and that ended then, so we need to look at inflationary reasons for that, because things are costing a lot more out the wastewater plant than they did before. The chemicals cost a lot more, so we're suggesting either keep that 3% going for the next 3 years or raise it to 5. You think 5 or 3 or 5 would help, Joyce, and that? You got the
It's
numbers
not
on
gonna,
that.
it's not gonna help a lot considering inflation. The 3% is, on a minimum bill, is only an extra 40 cents, which would bring in about $8,000 a year. 5% would be 68 cents on a minimum bill, and that'd bring in $13,348. We've got inflation of almost 10% right now. And it's crazy because it's hurting everybody. It would help a little, but I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to throw something big in there, but I do know from what Mike Calvis told us that other cities probably charge double what we do for sewer. If you've got, what, a $22 charge on water, the sewer's only $13, and that's, you know, that's not making it.
So we just want to throw that out to us and see what everybody feels about it.
Are those rates set by us or the administration?
The water rates are set by administration.
Okay,
But
Sewer's
sewers by
Okay.
us, yes.
I knew there was a caveat to
Yep.
it.
I mean, it's something we can look at, we can, we can discuss it later on, but,
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing
yeah.
some other
Need some more
communities.
information.
Yeah,
Not-
can we
yeah.
get what some other communities around us are doing and some estimates of what this will do, what this amount will do, what this amount will do, and see what the sweet spot is that we were looking for to make our ends meet without, being too hateful to our
I think the
residents.
purpose was just to get you thinking about
Sure.
it, because we
Yep.
need,
It's gonna
not to
have to be
make a
done.
decision tonight.
Right.
by any
Yeah.
means.
But yes, some extra information would be fabulous.
That's all I got on it.
Okay. Do we need to do anything about do we want to do anything about I think we're pretty much on the garbage rates, pretty much.
I think the
I mean, I
same
don't-
thing. I said, let's look at
We'll wait.
some information and
All right.
talk about what
That's fine.
X amount will do, and I think we look at it all as one big.
Okay, so yeah, we'll get some information and we'll revisit garbage and sewer and garbage, however
I
you
don't,
want
Jeff, do you know any other town that collects garbage beside us? I know Galleon doesn't. I don't know
Crestline doesn't. I don't know about Upper
I don't
Sandusky.
know, or, I don't think Tiffin does either, I think they contracted out.
I know Carrie came and visited us, gosh, it's been 6 months ago. They were looking to get back into it.
Yeah.
They had gotten out of it, but I don't know about Marion, or all I did was get comparisons on private haulers that are doing Crestline and Galleon, and so.
We're way below what they are, and we definitely want to stay away from private ones if we can, so.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that was a good speech and everything the guy gave.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we want
I got
to
it.
do that with.
Takes your snowplow crew away from you. I mean, and seriously, when you
Well,
look
yeah.
at that, to me, that's enough of a problem that.
They
even-
wanted to
even if
come and
we would-
speak and give their presentation.
Oh, that's-
And the idea itself isn't a hateful idea, but when they're the ones, they're gonna take away all your employees that would be plowing your snow, that's great until you have a snowstorm.
I agree. I got a call
Okay.
the other day from a citizen talking about it, and I told him basically the same thing. That, they wanted to present, and we let them and give their spiel, and that was it. So, okay.
But I do think it'd be good to get some other figures. Maybe we can lay them out,
Okay.
put something
Yep.
together. All right. All set? Everybody
Yep.
okay?
Mhm.
All right.
Sounds good.
Any public participation for Finance Committee, anything we talked about here?
Fankhauser, 616 Prospect. Just a little suggestion, if you're checking the prices for other cities on their sewer, also check what they're doing as far as stormwater runoff. I had briefly looked into that once, and some cities don't have the stormwater runoff, but they kind of accommodate through that by having a way higher sewer rate, just so you're comparing apples to apples.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, with that, we'll adjourn finance at 6:32.
Okay.
Hold on. It is Thursday, May 5th, 2022, 6:34 p.m., and this is the Public Lands and Buildings meeting.
I'm gonna call the Public Lands and Buildings Committee meeting to order at 6:30, you said 2 or 4? Yeah, 6:34 p.m. Members present, Kevin Myers, Dan Wireball, Brenton Potter, and myself, Sierra Sheriff Chair. First up, do we have any public participation? I see none. Next thing we have on our agenda is the approval of minutes from April 21st, 2022. Regular Public Lands and Buildings Committee meeting.
We'll make a motion to approve this.
I'll second that.
Okay. I have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you. All right, next is the heating system for WTP.
Yes, that would be at the water plant. When we settled with Jones and Henry, we did get the check. So now we need to put it out to bid to get it replaced with a boiler system rather than the geothermal heating system. So I need to be able to put the specs together and put it out to bid. And when we got the quote from a company to do that kind of system, it was $197,000, but that was last March.
Yeah.
So I would think we would be safe at $250,000. But if we're not, I'd have to come back to you, but I need to get the specs put together.
So you need to do that pretty quickly because prices keep going up?
They keep going up, and the time frame for them to get it in and get all the materials in, we would like to get it done before the winter.
So if we were to do something, we'd need that as an emergency?
I would like to get it done as soon as we can. I think we just received the check about,
Clarify.
yeah. I think, Joyce, would we get it about 2-3 weeks ago, or a month ago?
No, we got it last month, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just about the same time as the second meeting in April, I think, so around April 19th, I think we got it. So we haven't had it too long.
What was the dollar amount?
270.
270? Ms. Sherrick, if I may.
Mr. Myers?
Do we need a 10% contingency on that, or are you comfortable at 250?
Well, that's kind of why I went up to 250.
Okay, you feel that?
Yeah,
gives you a little
I
more
was at
need.
230 when I first wrote this
Okay.
up, and I thought, no, let's
Alright.
just raise it to 250.
All right. I'll move to approve allowing the service director to advertise for bids not to exceed $250,000 to replace the heating system at the water treatment plant.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion passes. And you said as an emergency, correct?
Yes, I did.
Just making sure. Okay. All right, so next we have Highland Avenue, Reed Street Properties.
This is really just Highland Avenue, and our OPWC project this year is putting a manhole. John's going to pull it up there, and I'll explain. We're going to be on in the right-of-way on somebody's property, but we're actually going to need an easement. And I think the people that own it, as I talked to them on the phone, they didn't realize our sewer main ran through this lot. So they had intentions to build some kind of a building on that lot, and now they can't. So she's interested in selling it and/or grant us an easement, but there's really nothing much you could do with that. Maybe put a small garage, I don't know. But she did offer to sell it to us. It keeps our crew off the street, because Reed Street or Highland is very narrow. I think there's even a telephone pole in the way, somewhat in that area. But we don't have a manhole in that area to clean all the way to the railroad tracks and then all the way to, part way to the river. So what Jeff Dunn's thought was, we'll put the manhole right here in this yard. We'll have a place to work on it. We'll be able to video, clean it out from there both ways. And we're constantly, going to be on that property. And she offered to sell it. She paid a little over $4,000 for it. And she talked about selling it for $3,500. And I told her I would bring it to you guys to see what your thoughts are, or we can just go after the easement and not do that. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
So. I think the manhole will just go somewhere in this area right here. And like I said, it keeps us off the street so they can clean back to the north or southeast and then be able to go to the northwest. Because right now, I think we don't have anything to be able to get to Mansfield Street. So, and that's part of our OPWC project this year. So I will go either way and try to work with her with just what you guys' thoughts are. Or if you need more information, I can have Jeff come to the next meeting, but we're gonna need either an easement or we need to try to work out a deal to keep it.
If we buy it, we're gonna mow it.
Yep.
If we have the easement, are they mowing it, or are we still gonna mow it since we're gonna be using it?
I would think we would mow where the easement is.
So we're gonna mow either way.
But maybe not all of it.
Okay. But we're gonna take a crew over there and unload the trailer, and
Yeah.
so whether you mow this much or this much, at that point, you're there mowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so would we be able to work with her that if we bought it, she mowed it? Like a request, because we don't want to be shady and just do an easement, and we want you to get some of your money back, but can you help us out since you're mowing your lawn anyway, kind of thing?
Well, she doesn't live
Yeah.
beside that lot.
She doesn't
You own
live
it,
there?
you should mow it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's out.
For
I think maybe she had a house right
For
there.
the intended purposes, I'm okay obtaining this. I think that's a purposeful lot to own. It's got benefit.
Well, it just gives us our crew an area to work.
Yeah, it gets them off the road safety wise too, yeah. I'm fine with that.
I will abstain from this entire conversation since I own the house beside them.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't-
Thank you.
I'm not saying anything.
Duly noted.
I mean, I can talk to her again and that's just the price she gave me. I can try to offer something else.
Can we approve a dollar amount without, and then it can go to finance later when it's time to pay for it, is that? I'd be comfortable making a motion allowing the service director to enter into a negotiation to obtain this property for anything up to $3,500. If he's able to get it for less, so be it.
I say, how much have the lots been selling for? That was my question.
Well, it's appraised at $4,070 and she's offering it at $3,500. She paid $4,060.
I just knew
That's what
that
we looked up, so.
some of the other lots in town had dropped drastically in value when we were selling them before, so.
Well, with the land bank, we found out that single lots by themselves were appraising at $650.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 there. John?
It says 4.
4?
4 lots. But because there's more together and they're larger, it makes them higher in value.
Right.
They're more buildable.
Okay, so we have a motion from Mr. Myers.
I'll second that.
And we do have money to go into this?
Well, that'll be part of the equation that I'm gonna have to get with the auditor.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
we could get it
so
out of the capital
upon-
outlay money.
Upon approval of the auditor.
That's fine.
That is not in my motion.
Sure, can I speak to the lot
Yes.
splits and everything there? If you look at the screen, currently you see the 4 lots that are designated there, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. Those are all historical interior lots, because at some point the lots were combined as one on the tax map, on the auditor's tax roll. So if we do obtain those, there is a possibility that we can go through and split off a portion and sell it at a later date, much like there are some other properties that we own. But I just wanted to make sure that that was clear before you made your
So
decision.
it's technically one lot now, but
Technically, yes.
it
is
used to be.
one
But
lot.
could be split and sold off later.
But yeah, we could easily split it and sell a portion of it off that we don't need for our sewer line.
All right, so we have a motion and a second.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
I
opposed?
abstain.
I heard you. And for the record, Mr. Wireball has abstained from this conversation. Okay, so that motion passes and we'll send that to full council.
No, we didn't
Oh, we
ask for any
just-
legislation.
Okay.
We as a committee approved him to enter into that.
All right,
Once he has an agreement, then it'll come back to us.
and now we're back to Mr. Wagner with the splash pad grant.
Yes, I do believe I think it's in your packet, we need a resolution
I don't have.
to apply
I
for the
don't
grant.
have
see
anything
anything
but the
about
You
minutes.
didn't get that, Megan,
For what, I'm sorry?
for the splash pad at
I
Lions
didn't have
Park?
the paperwork for it, but I have it on here for the splash pad.
Yeah, it's a resolution that we'll need
We
to,
need a resolution.
To apply for the grant.
Authorizing you to apply for the grant.
yes,
What's the
wait.
deadline?
I thought we.
June
Is that-
1st.
It's a different one.
It does have to be an emergency, it's for Lions Field. It does have to be an emergency
No,
because it has to be done
it's-
by June 1st.
Yes.
Didn't we talk about this like a
We
month ago?
discussed it, we haven't asked, he needs a resolution to enter into or to apply for the grant.
I
Yeah, we
thought-
discussed it.
I thought that we'd asked for a resolution that night for him to be able to apply. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
No,
We
no,
just discussed it in the last.
that night it was just, I brought it up if you wanted me to move forward with it.
Okay.
And
all right.
now, the person.
I was like, I know we did some voting on this.
Well, you did, and that was just for me to check into it.
I'll request a resolution as an emergency piece of
emergency.
legislation authorizing the service director to apply for a grant for the Lions Field splash pad grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Wireball. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We'll request legislation or resolution. All right. With that being done.
I've
we
got an
have-
open project to bring up. If I may.
No, go ahead.
On the December 9th, 2021 Public Lands and Building Committee meeting, there was discussion had and a list provided of some city-owned properties that we wanted to dispose of. McKeever made a motion to request the sale of the properties with a minimum bid of $500. After further discussion, the motion was amended to set that price to $750, and then further discussion caused the amendment again of the motion to $1,000 minimum bid. Truca seconded the amended motion and set the minimum bid to $1,000, and that motion passed by voice vote. So what happened from that was when we had this list, there was where the old water tower was over on East Warren Street needed to be split into 3 parcels. And so we were waiting on the Board of Control to do that. They met this week. John's not finished with all that yet, but they did approve splitting that. Since that time, they've added a couple of other properties that we didn't have on that initial list. So, and I'll let Mr. Wagner get into it, but some of the discussion that they had in the administration office was, when we initially talked about this, we were talking about the minimum bid price being at $500, and then that crept up. The goal, the reason that we want to dispose of these properties is to stop sending a crew out to mow. We're wasting time, we're wasting money. Whether somebody buys it and just keeps it as an empty lot and pays taxes on it, whether they build something and we get another water customer, whatever's going to happen, and it's a minimum bid price. But Jeff, I'll kind of turn it over to you then at this point.
Well, yeah, I think with Mr. Myers was saying, with our expenses we've incurred just keeping them mowed, our goal is to actually do sell them so we don't have to maintain them anymore. I mean, I'll go out at any price you want, but I think some of the lots, they're buildable. I would suggest to be at 500. And I don't recommend to do an auction. I think it's just you put the minimum bid's $500.
Sealed bids.
Somebody wants sealed bid. Somebody wants to bid 750 or 800. That's up to them. But I'll do any price you want me to. And the last lot that we have on there on Woodlawn is a lot larger than any lots we have. I think that one could be at $1,000 minimum bid. But I will let you guys direct me on what kind of pricing you think it needs to be at. But every time we go mow, we're spending a couple $100 between labor and the trucks and mowers and gas. And I know some of them aren't that big, but still taking a lot of time away.
I'd like to see it revert back to $500 per lot,
Wait, okay.
We haven't put these out to bid yet?
No, because
No,
we're waiting
that's-
on that lot split.
But at the same time, I thought the other ones were going out to bid.
No, we had to wait for the lot split because that's the way the motion was made. That's not included in this, so what I still want to finish the discussion, but it's my intention that I'd like to move that we proceed with the list minus that Warren Street property and let them catch that at a later time because John's not finished splitting that off officially yet. I'd like to let him get these going while we're spending time and money going out mowing.
So it's been how many months?
Since December.
Well, I lost my zoning engineering person in February.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you the reality of it. He went downstairs to train.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to make a motion that requests emergency legislation that allows the service director to go out to a bid amending the previous
Well, would it be-
list.
Would it be wiser to do the 750? Because that's not that much of a difference.
Again, I'd like to make the motion at $500 per lot, and if somebody wants to bid more, that's fine. We're talking a difference of $250. Let's get these things disposed of and stop spending our money. We're gonna spend $250 each month that we wait.
But we want to raise costs on other things because we don't have enough income? This is kind of confusing to me. If somebody really wants that lot, that 250 is not a big difference.
My motion stands at $500 as emergency legislation.
Of course it does. Anybody else?
No, I'm okay with keeping it at 750 because that's what they decided before. We haven't even thrown it out there yet, so.
So let my motion die and make a new one.
Can we come back and can we amend that if nothing happens with it?
No, you'd have to have another piece of legislation to allow him to do something different again.
So yours was,
I'd like to go out at $500 a piece for all of them.
yeah. But did we already have legislation from December?
There was no legislation
Oh,
ever.
nothing was-
No legislation was ever
We
created out of it because
agreed.
we were waiting on the
Right.
lot split.
Well, yeah, I'll make a motion since it was agreed in December to do it at 750, leaving the Warren Street off. And if it doesn't sell, then I guess we'll
Come back
come back, but.
as an emergency.
As an emergency.
I'll second that.
I think we just need to do the right thing here.
if I may,
Yeah, go ahead.
what do you want me to do with the Woodlawn Avenue? You want it at 750 like the rest of them? Or do you-
Well, you said that, you thought that was worth more? Well,
Yeah, he thought
That
that
was
was.
1,000.
yeah, we can leave that at 1,000.
Okay,
Would
I'm
be
just
fine.
I'll
making sure.
second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, now do we have any public participation? Okay, seeing that there's none, at 6:53, I am adjourning the,
Well, hang on,
wait,
1 second. I thought we had, did that get dropped, what's the road out there? Crowder Road?
No, we pulled that.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I missed
Nope,
that.
that's okay.
all right, that's okay. So still 6:53, we'll go ahead and adjourn public lands and buildings. Thank you.
I didn't want to have to come.
Okay, it is it is Thursday, May 5th, 2022, 6:55 p.m. And this is the plating committee meeting.
Okay, I will call plating committee to order at 6:55. Members present, Kevin Myers, Dan Wireball, Terry Spiegel, and myself, Chair. Any public participation? Okay, with that, I need approval of the amended minutes for January 6th, 2020.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right. If there's no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. I need a motion for the minutes on Thursday, April 21st, 2020.
Move to approve.
Do I have a
Second.
Okay, I have a first and second. If there's no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nobody has anything from the open projects. Please look at those and need to try to close whatever we can or proceed with whatever we can. With that,
Yeah, with that, I wanted to, maybe some of you guys, they're on the website under, it's under the documents on demand. I just printed some out, the open projects.
Right.
So I saw something there about, I don't know what, something that I know is done, but I'm sure
Right.
there's a lot on there. Okay.
okay, that's good. With that, I will adjourn at 6:56 PM. Now you can
Now I can go back.
Either where you going?
Okay, it is Thursday, May 5th, 2022, 6:58 p.m. And this is the Economic Development Committee meeting.
I'd like to call Economic Development to order at 6:58 p.m. Members present, CM Sherrick, Steve Young, Mark McKeever, and myself, Chair. Is there any public participation at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to the approval of minutes from the April 21st, 2022 regular Economic Development Committee meeting.
I'll make the motion to.
It's
Yes. That's what I thought.
There's this,
Yeah,
there's
this is the mess up. Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second. Oh, you got it. Steve got it.
Second.
who seconded that?
Steve,
Okay.
All in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? All right, so from there, we'll move on to talk about CHIP, which is the Community Housing Impact and Preservation Partnership. Anybody want to discuss any of that?
I gave them the packet.
I think it's just that we have to fill our part out and file the application, and I'm gonna kind of refer to Jenny too. She's still here? Did she leave? Yeah, it was just being part of the county-wide application to apply with CHIP. I don't know, Joyce, if you can chime in a little bit. All I know is I thought Kelly had turned it all in, and then come to find out
I
that,
have this paperwork, this is all I have, and then I found the resolution, so it's a biannual thing. So I have like the past resolution somewhere that I can pull up, but
I think if
other
we
than
just,
You just need a motion to enter into the agreement, but I just didn't know if anybody had anything they wanted to discuss.
okay, yeah, it would just be doing a new resolution for the current year.
Right.
Or however how long the term
We don't
is.
administer it at all, we're just a part of it,
Yeah,
so.
Crawford County, the city of Bucyrus, and the city of County.
Right.
yeah.
We just need a motion to.
I may need to abstain from this because I think I can get money from it. So due to this, the fact that this grant may help me, it's probably a good idea that I abstain.
Yeah, I'll make a motion for us to enter in the agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Other than that, do we have any public participation? Seeing none, I'll adjourn at 7 p.m.
Okay, it is Thursday, May 5th, 2022, 7:02 p.m., and this is the Service Committee meeting.
Okay, I'd like to call the Service Committee meeting to order at 7:02. Members present are Steve Young, C. Aaron Sherrick, Brenton Ponder, and myself as chairman. We'd like to open it up to anybody in the public who has anything that they want to comment on Service Committee. Seeing none, we need to approve the minutes from the April 7th, 2022 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes.
Got a motion by Aaron, second by Steve. Any more discussion? If not, vote, saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. Okay, we on finance talked about the sewer and garbage rates. Is there anything that we need to talk about on that here? Does anybody have any opinion on it? We have about going forward with it and getting more rates from other cities, see where we're at.
Like getting more information.
Yeah.
I'm good with getting more
Okay,
information. I'm not
okay.
jumping the gun on.
Okay, that's what we'll do. I just got the list off of Mr. Wireball for the open project list. I'm gonna go through it. I'll give you guys a copy of this, and we'll go through it at our next committee meeting, so. Okay, anybody else have anything to say? If not, I'd like to adjourn at 7:04.
Okay.